Alexa, where is my package?
A package was delivered containing books.
There we go. Let's take a look. Oh, there we go. That's heavy. Dude, it's so freaking hot. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and before I start, I want to say thank you for everyone who sent me encouraging messages after I posted my last video. It's super interesting because a lot of my CPA colleagues are actually thinking about going to law school as well. And a lot of them are asking what I think about the CPA exam versus the LSAT. And I really can't compare the two because the CPA exam is just in another level. The CPA exam is literally the hardest exam I've taken in my entire life. And comparing CPA exam to LSAT, it's not really comparing apples to apples. You probably can compare the CPA exam to the bar exam, but not the LSAT. CPAs say that the CPA exam is the hardest exam in the country, but lawyers will disagree and they will say that the bar exam is the hardest exam in the country. And in a few years, hopefully, when I'm ready to take the bar exam, I will let you know which one is harder. But for now, let's talk about the LSAT. So the LSAT is the law school admission test. So obviously this is the test that you have to take before you get into law school. So when you apply to law schools, they are looking hard at your undergrad GPA and your LSAT score. Your LSAT score is probably the most important part of your application. So you want to make sure that you do really well. When you take your LSAT, your score will be between 120 to 180. And there is no passing or failing score. It just depends on the law school that you're applying to. So law schools have a required LSAT score. I shouldn't say required. It's more like a desired LSAT score. If you want to get admitted to one of the Ivy Leagues or like the fancy school, then you want to make sure that you do really well on the LSAT because they are looking at an LSAT score of 170 and up. I think about 50% of people who are taking the LSAT score about 150. So 150 is like the sweet spot. That's kind of like the LSAT score that most regular law schools are looking for. But your LSAT score should not stop you from applying to your dream school. I know I've watched some YouTube videos of people who scored 150 on the LSAT or like 160 on the LSAT, but applied to Harvard and they actually got in. So your LSAT score is really important, but there are other parts of your application that's important too. So I'm not saying that when you get a 150, if you get a 150 or 160, then you don't have any chance of going to Harvard. But if you have a lower LSAT, then your chances of getting into one of those schools are lower than somebody who has 175 LSAT. So the LSAT has 3 sections. I have the logical reasoning, analytical reasoning, and reading comprehension. I actually have been studying for the LSAT for about a week now, and I started with reading comprehension. I've been using Khan Academy, which is super great. They have free lectures and practice tests online, but I figured I should buy the review materials as well. Now these review books are not really expensive, not compared to the CPA exams. I think I paid $120 for all 3 books, and that's not even a fraction of the CPA exam review materials. But anyway, the first section is the logical reasoning. And with this one, they are testing your ability to analyze arguments where you have to make assumptions or identify an error or choose an answer that would strengthen or weaken an argument. Next one is the analytical reasoning or the logic game section. This is considered the hardest part of the exam. It's actually the thickest of all 3 books as well. For this one, they're testing your ability to analyze the range of possibilities embedded in a set of rules. So a question always starts with a premise. And for example, there are 5 people who might attend the wedding: A, B, C, D, and E. But the rules are, if A is present, then B cannot be present. And if C is present, then D must also be present. And the question would be, what is the maximum number of people who could be present? And I think one of the reasons why this is considered the hardest part of the exam is because it really makes you think. And because this is a timed exam, you really don't have a lot of time to do that. And the last section is the reading comprehension. I already started reading this, and as you can see, I already put my sticky notes and did some highlights and everything. But anyway, reading comprehension. They are testing your reading comprehension, where you will read 4 passages and answer about 5 to 8 questions per passage. So these are the 3 sections, but during your exam, you're actually taking 4 sections. So you're doing 1 analytical reasoning, 1 reading comprehension, and 2 of the logic reasoning. But only 3 will be graded. One of the sections is an experimental section where they're basically just testing the difficulty of those questions that they might use on future testing. And obviously, you don't know which one is not graded, so you want to make sure that you give it your best and treat every single solitary section as if they're all graded. So that's everything about the LSAT that I can think of. They kind of encourage you to study for the LSAT for 3 to 5 months. Some people are studying for a year. I plan on taking the LSAT the first week of October, so that gives me 3 months while working full-time. But I think that's enough time for me. If you've watched my other videos when I was studying for the exam, I don't encourage people to study for too long because there is a tendency that you will overstudy and you will forget some things. So anyway, that's all I have for you today for the LSAT, and I'm really looking forward to my study. If you want to see my studying technique, then make sure that you follow my Instagram account. All right, that's all I have. And if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. All right, I'll see you next time. Take care.